To be clear, the site task force in its report identified specifically Beijing as being involved in transnational repression efforts as well as disinformation campaigns using social media platforms to target certain candidates or to influence the election. That's fair, right? That's in the report. This is an issue. These are activities Beijing broadly was involved in.
The task force identified at the outset of the election what it was anticipating in terms of likely behavior and would likely continue. And then it also identified in the course of the election the two incidents that you're referring to, sir, as being elements and platforms that are based in China and that are linked to PRC actors.
Thank you for that. Now, it's now well established that in the 2019 and 2021 federal elections, accredited diplomats from Beijing, including diplomats operating out of Beijing's Vancouver Consulate and Toronto Consulate, engaged in interference activities. Can you provide the assurance that no Beijing accredited diplomats engaged in such interference activities during the 2025 election? Can you provide that assurance?
I think the after action report was a really great evolution in terms of being able to provide the direct information to Canadians, including parliamentarians, in terms of threats that were observed to the election. And as mentioned, the threats that were observed were really small scale. It was related to TNR. It was related to the online activities.
Respectfully, I would disagree with you. I don't think the activities in, for example, Don Valley North were small scale. Is that your characterization of what happened in Don Valley North?
What I'm referring to is the size of the activities, the impact certainly in Don Valley North on the constituents and on Mr. Tay specifically is not small scale at all, and what was experienced is very significant to those individuals.
Precisely, and that's why I'm asking whether you can provide the assurance that no Beijing diplomats were involved in such interference activities.
I think that the after action report was very clear in terms of what was observed and what was reported by the task force. And again, while the impact on those individuals in that particular riding was very significant, the overall activities of attempted interference or potential interference in the election did not have a large scale or impact on Canadians' ability to have a free and fair election.
So I'm not hearing an answer but yes, you can provide that assurance. So I take it, but you can't fully provide that assurance that Beijing diplomats were not involved, that they may in fact very well have been involved in such activities. So hypothetically, if CSIS was aware that an accredited diplomat was involved in interference activities, would that information be passed on eventually to the Minister of Foreign Affairs?
So I would just like to clarify, Mr. Chair, that as reported, we reported the activities that we did observe, and the activities that we observed did not include any activities by accredited diplomats. So I just want to clarify that at this point in terms of what the report referred to. And certainly, if there were activities that we had observed that did involve the behavior of foreign accredited diplomats in Canada, that is exactly the type of information that would be provided to our global affairs colleagues and, of course, through them to the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Okay, so to be clear, in your answer, you referenced that CSIS did not observe activities by diplomats in respect of Don Valley North, correct? That was the answer that you provided, not more broadly than that.
During the 45th general election, as per the after action report, there was no reporting of activities of accredited diplomats engaging in potential or actual acts of foreign interference that was reported.
That were reported. But again, my question wasn't simply what was reported. My question was beyond what was reported.
You're at 6 minutes, Mr. Cooper. Unless you have a very quick answer.
Mr. Chair, we have reported what we saw, and what was reported and what we saw was not those activities as the member is referring to.
Thank you. Chair and honorable members, thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today. My name is Joe Tay, a Canadian citizen, former singer-actor in Hong Kong, and the Federal Conservative Party candidate for Don Valley North from last election. I'm here to give my first-hand evidence of foreign election interference. Presently, there are 300,000 Canadians who chose to build their careers like myself between Canada and Hong Kong. Transnational repression is real, highly sophisticated, coordinated, and totally destructive aim to silence voices, end careers, and erase people from their public life. For over 30 years in media, I'm blessed to become a household name within my community worldwide. Until 2019, when I openly supported the pro-democracy movement in Hong Kong, my career was abruptly terminated. I was told to stop speaking out or never work again. And days before the national security law of Hong Kong came into effect, I returned to Canada, yet the repression followed me and my family here. During my 2024 campaign, I faced non-stop foreign election interference. Number one, coordinated disinformation during election. Canada's Security and Intelligence Threats to Election Task Force identified a coordinated foreign operation targeting Don Valley North across Chinese social media platforms and Facebook, aimed to curb any positive coverage and amplifying made-up negative news of me, painted me as a fugitive to voters. Number two, summoned by the Chinese Consulate. During my nomination, a venue owner who hosted a birthday party, and I was invited among many guests, was summoned twice after the party by the Chinese Consulate for allowing me on the premises. Complaint was made to the consulate, sadly, by 2 to 3 local city councillors, of whom the owner was too afraid to name them. Number three, my bounty encouraged by a sitting MP. The most dangerous incident of all was when Mr. Paul Chang, a former Liberal MP, was sworn to protect Canadians, openly ignore Canada's clear position and condemnation statement by Foreign Affairs issued within 24 hours after my bounty, and allow me to cite part of the statement. The attempt by Hong Kong authorities to conduct transnational repression abroad, including issuing threats, intimidation, and coercion against Canadians and those in Canada, will not be tolerated. Yet, Mr. Paul Chang knowingly went on to organize a selective press conference attended by mainly Chinese consulate-friendly reporters, suggesting me that anyone who handed me to Chinese consulate could claim the $1 million bounty, expecting the press to make it more public. That puts me and my family in harm's way. And Paul making himself an instrument of CCP interference on the election. And to me, in my opinion, what's worse, it was the leader of the party then, of his party. Now our Prime Minister defended him and make excuse for Paul's for CCP position statement. Number four, harassment of my extended family. Hong Kong authorities interrogated and pressured my extended family in Hong Kong to make me a burden of my own relatives. Number five, administrative tools manipulations. Hong Kong HSBC Bank and Government Tax Agency of Hong Kong were used to extend as extended arms and tools to froze our accounts, false accusation of made-up tax evasion claim attempting to administratively criminalize me in US and Canada. My wife, Angie, as an insurance agent, requires her to renew her license every 2 years. Any financial criminal offense worldwide will lead to her license suspension. Number six, surveillance and intimidation during campaigning. Volunteers and I were followed, photographed, and our home being monitored by a strange vehicle were reported instantly to the local police and RCMP. Number seven, violent threat to one of our supporters. A lady supporter who just simply met me for a coffee chat received a parcel containing a dress splattered with red paint simulating blood stabbed through the chest, a graphic warning not to support me. Targeting seniors, sending people door to door to senior apartments within our riding, spreading the same social media message within the Chinese community. If you vote for Joe Tay, the Chinese Consulate will know, and you will lose your visa to visit China. Targeting our senior voters through direct intimidation, surveillance, travel restriction, and fear of retaliation suppressing democratic rights. We know for a fact many were too afraid to vote. Finally, RCMP unscheduled visit. RCMP made an unscheduled visit to my house to inform me that they had intercepted a credible source that a threat to harm me during my election. Resulting, all my campaign activities were suspended, and depending on day-to-day safety warnings till the end of the election resulted, campaign become the quietest. Chair and honorable members, this CCP initiated foreign interference evidence of intent to harm, well-organized evil scheme that targets Canadians and our electoral institution, turning parliamentarians and councillors into bad actors, or at least used to erode trust in our institution. On behalf of my family and I am here with the hope that by speaking up, every Canadian and our democracy, of which so many live their lives down, will be protected. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll now turn to questions. We'll go to Mr. Cooper for 6 minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Tay, you referenced that Paul Chang, the then Liberal MP for Markham-Unionville, convened a press conference with Chinese language media at which he specifically raised the bounty against you and encouraged community members to turn you in to Beijing's Toronto Consulate. At the time, you were seeking the Conservative nomination in his riding, Markham-Unionville. You characterized the press conference as selective. By that, what do you mean? Would it be fair to say that MP Chang organized the press conference for the purpose of publicizing the bounty against you and smearing your reputation within the Chinese diaspora communities in Markham-Unionville and throughout the GTA?
I have sent to the committee secretary a list of the reports and the video. Too bad the time don't allow the translation, is interpretation, not enough time to make it. But the fact that I stress is selective, because among the press conference as shown in the video, there are many invited and only one that reported in the media, which is a mainland Chinese community-focused Mandarin-speaking media, was reported, aiming to only target to the Chinese crowd. So the selective meaning within the crowd, there were many reporters within the venue, but only one media report the case, and that was the Mingxingpao.com. It's one of subsidiary of Mingpao Daily in Canada. So the meaning of selective, I mean, they select the platform to be publicized, this public bounty, and those people who read those news are prone, whether they are, their ideology was with the China, or they want to, during economic bad times, they would want to harm me because of the money involved.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the fallout from that press conference within the diaspora communities on social media platforms, threats, intimidation? Would it be fair to say that they intensified as the awareness around, and maybe the broader issue of the awareness around the bounty and how that might have impacted your electoral prospects within in terms of support from diaspora community members?
Yes, right away, the actual media report was published on January 22nd, 2024. So immediately, a lot of the Chinese community, especially those of my volunteers, will come back and tell me that online on the WeChat platforms, on the Chinese social media platforms, describing me as a fugitive, and there was a bounty, and all these comments on the side of 1,000 comments, were among them there were people said, oh, it's a good time to get his head, or hurt him to get the bounty. And but the risk is actually because by that time I was just notify. I think because of my past career, I think this was just comments and not actual action. But the news was not picked up by the mainstream until maybe
Yeah.
1.5 months. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. And on March 23rd, 2025, you became the Conservative candidate for Don Valley North. The next day, the RCMP attended to your home to warn you that they had intercepted credible threats to your safety. Is that accurate?
Yes, it is accurate.
And the RCMP contacted you at another point to tell you that it was no longer safe to canvass door to door. Is that correct?
Not at that moment.
No,
They were
I'm
just-
talking about later in the campaign.
Yes, yes. That was, you are correct, accurate.
And so, can you explain a little bit about what happened there? As I understand it, you had to check in, or the RCMP would check in with you to tell you on a day-to-day basis whether it was safe for you to go door to door. Is that accurate?
Yes, I think especially when I was visited by the RCMP, since then on, I reported the visitation to the Conservative Party of Canada, the headquarters. So we have a discussion and communication between RCMP with the Conservative Party of Canada was established to exchange information to make sure every day the updates of any threats will be advised to me, so that whether I will go out to do door knocking or canvassing, it really depends on the day-to-day basis safety advice.
So just to get an understanding of the level of threats, you were followed, correct?
Yes.
Your residence was surveilled?
My residence there was one incident I remember is.
And that was with a vehicle, right?
With a vehicle. It's strangely that when we almost come home, there was a strange car because we know our neighborhood really well.
And
we've never seen a car like that. So my wife was smart enough to ask me, hey, maybe we turn one more round and come back with another angle. That car has parked already closer to our house and actually just outside a driveway. And yeah.
And volunteers were harassed and intimidated.
Yes or no?
volunteer-
Yes or no? We're already over.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Lewis, please, for 6 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. I want to thank both the witnesses. Canada has seen firsthand how hostile foreign actors attempt to distort our democracy and quietly influence our political process. The Foreign Influence Transparency Registry is the next step to shine a light on these.
And they try to, maybe door knock another half an hour. That guy disappeared for a while and reappear on the other corner of other streets. So they are actually followed. Yeah, and they report that to the police.
Did anything come of it?
No.
In addition to the things that you've already disclosed, you say there was a disinformation campaign against you on a door-to-door level or on the doorsteps. And my understanding, based on what I've seen in the media and such, is that the message going door to door was conveyed that if you vote for Joe Tay, Beijing's Toronto Consulate will know, and there'll be consequences for the people who vote for you. Can you confirm that that was true?
Yeah, that was actually attached to the secretary, which did not have enough time to interpret for the attachment. So there will be provided if you need that piece of information that was actually distributed.
How effective and how broad and how widespread do you think that campaign, that door-to-door campaign was?
The door-to-door campaign was very effective because it's all seniors, right? So they actually visit, to my knowledge, is at least 3 total seniors buildings in Don Valley North. So I think 70% of the seniors did not go. According to my volunteers, try to contact the building, and they were too afraid to share.
So based on your GOTV, you're able to basically ascertain that a large portion of seniors in your constituency that you were running in did not go out to vote. Is that right?
at least they received that note, was very scared and have queries. And regarding to the actual votings, I have to look into the data itself.
And you think it was because they were threatened and intimidated and would lose their, say, ability to visit mainland China again? Was that the main
Yes.
threat?
Yeah, they believe that was true.
Are you aware of any connection between this intimidation campaign and Beijing's Toronto Consulate?
I believe it is, I think they are related.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Now, did you listen to the testimony of the witnesses in the previous hour?
No, I don't have, I haven't come in yet.
Okay, so the CSIS official who just testified said that, according to the reports that they put out, that no accredited diplomats from the PRC interfered in the 2025 election. Would you agree with that?
No, at least to myself, I know I've been a target and a victim because not just, well, but simply by the public bounty and that press conference alone, it's solid proof.
Do you fear any consequences for yourself or anybody in your family, etc., for just testifying at this committee today?
Thank you for bringing this up. And I was really concerned. And when Paul Chang was first announced that through the press and it was picked up by the media, then my life was like in danger exponentially, especially and during that 3 days or 4 days that when the leader of when Mark Carney was protecting the candidate, that really scares me because it is a totally a different ideology when Canada, the MP, everyone should want to protect Canadians. And when it is a CCP direct threat to our democracy and through the election threat, then when the MPs or the leaders promoting that at the same time, it meant it gives a almost like a approval to the people who wants to really hurt me, to like a green light. So it was really a scary situation for me and my family. And I was about to terminate. There was a thought during my family discussion that I should terminate my running immediately after that. But I kept going because I think at least there will be some protection from the system. But up till now, I was worrying that is there any follow-up on Mr. Paul Chang's action of stating the bounty? Looks like he's retiring without any consequences. I think that really alarms Canadians, should be alarm Canadians.
Well, I thank you for your courage in continuing to seek elected office in this country. I know the Prime Minister, shortly before this all took place, as chair of Brookfield, secured a $270 million loan from the PRC Bank, which is involved with the Communist Party. I wonder if you see any connection between the Prime Minister's unwillingness to speak out against the bounty they placed on your head and the fact that he just borrowed $270 million from them several months before.
Well, I don't have any proof on the relation, but it is a fact that Canada will seek economic development with as when the Prime Minister is now initiating a collaboration, a deeper cooperation with China, that maybe Canada needs it economically, but there is a side note that every Canadian should be made aware, or the members of parliament that should be made aware, there should be countermeasures that to protect Canadians, because as a different ideology country that is collaborate closely with Canada, there should be at least some law protecting or countermeasuring this kind of threats.
I just thank you very much for your courage, Mr. Tay, both in your actions during the election and in appearing before this committee today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.